mé des ganú arán agus ní bh géan bhrothla ní bhán mar sin moltóir ag na ghlaiciige agus é olah chun tús a chur léthe Kevin Harrington an son a harú é seo duine chun dá harú líl Rodó séna Alan O'Connor ag imirt heid caitan áde agus tús chur leis an imirt agus Patrick Kelly a chorcaig bhil na caidisteach ach sleána histeigin son ó Joe Shanahan bachtaige Willie Lowry bhilteachige go dtí Ian Ward a iirecht táirithe bachta inis an son ige Jerome Mara agus kick sleasa a ann de chorcaig. Michael Shields bhil na caidisteach an son go dtí Colin West a héanagus Cian Clear ceart go na chana chóireach tá Cian sleánathe deisige bhilteige go dtí Joe Shanahan lagaíirecht sáirithe ag Ciarán Welsh agus bhil níor a bhéon stróid bhí deismhaithan sanna go corcaig ach níor mandar a díidir agus iad déirigh meachtar an únsaí gcónaí Niall Horgan bhilteisteach go siúd go dtí Gan Hayes ar neis go dtí Niall an Tamánaí agus an Teledóid agus bhilteige deasige go dtí Fintan Gould bhilteige Fintan ceanna Anna Ard agus pointe deasige Fintan Gould.
And the first score of the game has come 1 minute and 5 seconds into it, and important to note here that the wind is not a huge factor here today. It may from flags across the far side be favouring Dublin slightly, but not all that much a factor really. And the big pitch is also a factor here today, of course, and it may take players a little time to settle down and get used to the big pitch, but certainly Cork got used to it quickly there.
Agus sé héad áclí Donach O'Reilly déirigh túsa chur le gúiseach dé Matt Vaughan an mór ard bain séireach an cúlbáir teachtamach bachta an son ag James Down agus a bhil na caiide le na Gordon go dtí Conor Barrett déimiid a tharsúd le minút chorcaí chomá seo hé Conor ar eis bogan na caiide go deas ó bhuine go duine Fintan Gould ach sáirithe go neafaiseach an son ag Ian Ward Stachel Arsley John Coughlin ar mór tréan Ishimig deisige Matt Vaughan áclí chuir an únsaí áilisteach bhfuil léite go deas an son ag Niall Horgan Mánaí agus Peledóir agus Gnomige. Kevin Harrington ceann fada Cian Clear a teachtamach achta go maithaige ar an spráideach é seo bhfuilte go deas go dtí Donach O'Reilly Stephen O'Donoghue déanta go maithaige Stephen Michael Shields Lena Horan go dtí Paul Kerrigan an tógánach ach buinte go agus seoiad áclí agus Brendan Phelan Ruth Trasna an Sodóibh Kevin Leahy bhfuilteisteach Joan Chúil agus an Chiad Scóil dáclí.
The key to that move was that Kevin Leahy, although wearing 10, he's playing it full forward. He made a good run out to win that ball. But interestingly, there was involvement there too by Cian Clear. And as Micheál was saying, the duel between Cian Clear, the Dublin captain, and Colin West, this gifted young Cork full forward, promises to be one of the really most interesting personal duels of the day.
Or Waller father get John Coughlin at Sunsonair, Arana Rayan, Wilty Gadasige, Gadi Donach O'Reilly. Harish, Gideon Leahoff, Kevin Leahy. Ara for the pointe, Roher Das, a lot of Nakaided and son, Aidan Relihan, Lena Hitoig, Ach, I have no live edition.
And that's the first wide of the game, and it came from Aidan Relihan, but good pressure there exerted by the Cork backs, certainly cool and composed, a team that's experienced. And of course, the backdoor system now is giving these teams extra games, and with extra games comes composure.
Ultimacha Joe, Lorna Poitke. I did it all of, Bachtige Michael Shields, Erai Goody, Brian Cotter. Ultigadas, I guess. A Machtestach, Brian Richt, Wollemach Bachtige, Michael Shields, Lorg Nakaider, Erai Goody, Paul Kerrigan, Hoganach, Ultigamahige, Trasnagadi, Patrick Kelly, Goody, Owen Cadigan, and Lacholi Lloyd, Rolag. Stecha Hall here on Welsh. Agus na mach le Harish, gudi Barry Kennedy. And we head in the hot slot, the Fasha Costin, take a set of Gama, open the Kaidelish. Macha Joe Lord the Poitke. Barry Kennedy go full. Will take Mark Vaughan again. Pelado down the Yigrishach, I guess. Dollar score in the hall, Dishige. On the Gishige. Well, near the council, Lord did it do him. James down. He Shanna her shoe, and the Fahir Lochad Road Horkui. Amach Goody Patrick Kelly. Ian Clear, Anna Wallige, Anna Lloyded, Anna Thomasov, Eden Downs, Samach Lesher Ruher, Femaravicha ahead, Mick. To get Assage, Stachat Thug, Eden Relihin. We're going to try to get Ass, I guess, Kalish Dienta and son, Jan O'Hara.
Well, it's interesting with all the talk in the last week about mass defences. Cork played an excellent defensive game there just a minute ago or so when Dublin came raiding. A promising move with the very colourful Mark Vaughan involved in it. Well, Cork got 4 men back to put pressure on, and of course an underhit shot then allowed the Cork keeper to save the situation. But here's a scoring chance for Dublin now from a free.
Mashin, Kevin Leahy. Will to get Kevin, next will to Anava get Kevin Leahy and partner pointed.
Two points for Dublin, and they both come from Kevin Leahy, who was selected at right half forward, but he went in at the start to full forward. He got the first one from play, the second one from a free, and a short run up to it, and what seemed to be a casual style, but he was confident, as you saw.
Townsend, goal to Amach, Michael Shields. Sarah Higadas and Bautis against Ian Ward. So had Pasal to Nunige, Jeromara. Jordan of Gama, Anava, Estakadi, Kevin Leahy, Artain Sherach. Will to her nation so Higa, Jan O'Hara. Jan O'Galish, Dahamil avoided in the foreign, I guess, point to get Jan O'Hara.
Only 7 minutes gone in this game, but it's clear already that Kevin Leahy, the Dublin full forward, is causing a lot of problems to the Cork defence. He got the first 2 points and he set up this one, the third one. For John O'Hara, the left full forward from the Skerries Harps Club.
Agus Ferranach Liste Jan O'Hara, she and the Norachus and Artistige. Ultimach Harris Lorna Parke, Brian Cotter, Derek Corkbig Horror in on sea, Joe Shanahan. Is dacht dat maar. Zij tien of gema, Joe Shannon de Harish, Rolag. Als je in de Hornish, zien we er wat. En terug zich nu daar die John Coughlin, mag die Donald Riley, Mark Vaughan. When toch een werk gebouwd is afwag, ik heb Colin West of with Noah Tree, zich nog Caro Canish. Dat is een Schellische Ganse. Wel, John Hayes. John Hayes, the Stachan Nish, Brian Cotter, Shansige Brian, Anna Hansige Brian, Agus Queentige Brian.
Well, that's an excellent point by Brian Cotter, and of course, Michal was talking there about the 3 shots that were dropped into the goalkeeper's hands there. It will take Cork, of course, a little bit more time to get used to the big pitch here, as we were speculating earlier on, but a very good drive here by Brian Cotter. And it's interesting as well in the first 8 minutes or so to notice that both teams are using a lot of foot passing, and that's something that will appeal to the purists.
Well, to Lena Gordon, the Finton goal, that's down the week. I guess she Artria, ha, Eden Sea, Eden Relihin. Will to Igashoot, Harnash, the Donald Riley, Eden Relihin, a Machtestach, Dishiga Eden. Well, Ochos and Toider, Agaser, pick the horse pick, skipper Gondalo, Eden Moltoid.
Well, again, we were talking earlier on about how the Cork defence are coming in to support each other and help, and that was a very good example of it.
Shahid Artria, Eden Sea, Barry Kennedy. Nigos na Hamanahe, Churuka, Willie Lowry, Gus Jeromara, Shahe, Agus Serkik, no Hige, Barry.
The foul was conceded there by Kevin Harrington. He's come into the game at the start, of course, because 2 players, Garrod O'Shea and Alan O'Connor, both missed this game because of injuries. 2 breaks, a broken leg and a broken thumb. Certainly misfortune for those players at this time of year when they'd love to be playing.
Aidan Relihan, Lenach Toig, agus Gwiltig Mahage, Aidan Relihan, agus Caharu Pinte, Rockley.
Dublin then well served with free takers. Aidan Relihan will kick them with the left from the right, and it's clear that Kevin Leahy will take them from the other side, but Aidan Relihan is a little bit concerned here now because he has a strapping on his hand there, and it does require attention, so Aidan Relihan has just go off the field to get some attention on that hand, and Dublin will be anxious that he'll be back on as quickly as possible to St Sylvester's Malahide boy.
Agus dimmer sé siúd leis na minúid in idig, chuma dáit lia, se heb Brendan Phelan. Ilma Cod Crooks, agus far anna láidir, anna ruachar, agus drochlich nú an Baltis.
Well, that's a disappointing end to what was a very promising run by Brendan Phelan, and of course Aidan Relihan from St Sylvester's is still off the field, but they're doing their best to get him on as quickly as possible. Well, he's there now.
Agus a shelif na caide mecht leis isteach, agus dasmach leon leis isteach, Lenach Toig, agus sin pointed as ag Aidan Relihan an tad na count.
Yes, Aidan Relihan back on, and he's got 2 points, one from a free, left-footed free, and one from play off his left. So Aidan Relihan, that hand has been looked at, and certainly nothing wrong with Aidan Relihan's confidence as he ran in and kicked that ball over the bar. But again, slack marking in the Cork full-back line. The Cork full-back line started so well, but the marking hasn't been quite so tight in the last 5 minutes or so.
Arish, John Coughlin, or Anna Thomasach Fad, with Gerard Brennan, Rida, Kevin Leahy, Leisha Ruhar, agus Derek Stephen O'Donoghue Chorda, Audition Ishige, Neely Counson, Father Rohin, Laura Hishtig, James Down, Argaravihin Shanahid, and Bahirloch, Lord Corby, will Terraig get with Brian Cotter, Agus Kalish Dinter Brian, will take a topic get Brian, Yanashan Vast, well, need all him, like Cheshin Moo, Ed Fenton Gould, Agus Colin West, Agus Shaheki and Clear. Stachel Ashley, Mathlish, Ruher, Willie Lowry, and Tamani. Agus Pelador Darno, Woltige, maybe against throw or James Down. Was Buna Willie, Giddy Michael Shields. Harnash, Giddy Connor Barrett. Even O'Donoghue, Agus, Rapshan Hyde, the Roig Connor Barrett. Olish, Gubert Connor Council Harnash, Giddy Michael Shields. Asco Heishel, agus Fachta Harnashige, and the Share Ruhar. Yanov Gama, Michael Shields, Baltison, Bachgadi, Brian Cotter, Brian, agus Reisht, Eugen Boydo, the Council, Geron Welsh, Lena Gordon, Gadi, Willie Lowry. Mar Bacholi Lloyd, the Gimerseshu, Lishna Hamanahe, Mark Vaughan, and the Vadienta Mark, Johanneshe, Edwin, agus Mathlish, Ruhar, Donach O'Reilly. Donach O'Reilly, agus Anna Irach, Anna point to get Donach O'Reilly.
Dublin growing in confidence visibly now. Donach O'Reilly coming forward there. He seemed to be a long way out, particularly bearing in mind that some other players had difficulty in finding the range earlier on, dropping the ball into goalkeeper's hands both ends of the field, but not Donach O'Reilly. He had the confidence to go for it and to get it.
Agus Beshe Ogohohin reached to Blanche Huin, Chapman the Diagdish. Biggie Yogi Council, Owen Cadigan, Halish Dinter, John Coughlin.
Yes, Donach O'Reilly, one of a number of players who will be young enough for Dublin next year, and no fewer than 8 of the Cork team will be young enough next year, no fewer than 5 of the 6-backs. So this is a relatively inexperienced Cork team.
Ian Clear against Colin West, and that didn't get Colin about this, a Mathlish and Ruhar, and Waishe scored, Colin the Machgafol, Meal avoided. Well, tá bert nó túr cosam tóirí inisiid, agus shelif na caide to get Willie Lowry, Tachtamach, Gold na caide gedi Brendan Phelan, agus Harnash, Marshin, cosam fa, a Yanav, Oglia, Gerard Brennan, John Coughlin, Trasna na Poitke, gedi John O'Hara, John the Mathlish, John Gafowl, Pointe Fachta Gadisige, Barry Kennedy Nish. I give it to the Hatslata Gazana Pointe Barry Kennedy.
Four of the Dublin forwards have now scored, including all of the full forward line, and here's Barry Kennedy making a very good run forward, not attempting to get back onto his right or anything like that, confidently shooting with his left. Excellent point. Dublin's last couple of scores, Barry Kennedy and Donnacha Riley, have been wonderfully well taken.
Agus bhíoh Barry mar lántasach leis na Monaghan Fontaine. Patrick Kelly, Pointe Gothig, Mark Vaughan. Mark Vaughan, Goody Brendan Phelan, Arnash Goody Donnacha Riley. Buckley and Wachter, so the numbers good is, Maradagana Haruid, Owen Cadigan, Yergish Gilson of Harunish, Alan West, a Bert the Henniv, Raishisha, and Mach Nirai, Rashi Mehinish. Donnacha Riley. Mehemach, er heeft hand aan boord. Mijn stoor het zondag is niet, pas je het goed vindt van Derek. Heil Horgan. Eerst de stikste line land te zeggen. Arne Huidik, geen clear. Hier about us and Paul Kerrigan, goody Colin West, Colin a Machtlesh, Colin in midor Commersoch, Machtlesh is stach, goody Shen Council Trasna, Viennig, this Jansen get John Hayes, Wilt get John, Agus Pointe get John Hayes, Colin West, a Reimshik, John Hayes.
Well, if it's possible to see it in replay, Colin West had a delightful pickup there, a Mikey Sheehy type pickup. Colin West when he went to win that ball, and he just didn't pick it up very skillfully, very cleverly, but he made great use of it. When this ball came in, well, that's just a little bit after the pickup, but he made great use of it and got that ball across. And Cork really needed the score. Cork really needed that score, and they got it. But it was a superb pickup by Colin West. It was football skill there to really admire.
Donnacha Riley agus Cousin Gumag, the Brendan Phelan. Well, Launig, Barry Kennedy, Council, Wilte, Vadro Adarish.
Now just watch this for skill. A deft little pickup by Colin West off his left, and then moved across field, played a great ball over, and it led to a score. Superb by young West, who wasn't getting much quality ball to play with in the previous 10 minutes or so, as Dublin lead by 7 points to 3, with a defender having scored, centre forward having scored, and the full forward line, of course, had also scored.
John Coughlin, Gorstehe, Orna Porke, is the Horlai Shacharer. Brin Cheshu, Le Shinshir, Lena Club, Sylvesters. Yes, Winter, Onengaul. Stoel, Nacht, leis an Schneiden saniert, of Nacht, leis an Arnaclohe dar no, agus iad Reikchen Cacha, in Aigard Wacha, agus Inadi, the Horsbig, Hannah Hain, Isaki o Halpeen, on Trio Jehar, and on Caharu Jehar, Yimidin Tell, agus Amanaich, agus Paul Kerrigan, on Toganach, Emihe. Jansig Isaki, Bachta, again Michael Shields. Shahoy Isaki. Wilter Eigigigadi, Brian Cotter. Pascopig Brian, Tafarshinige, Machtlesh. Ultigadasiga, the Staxahuine, and so goody Daniel Goulding. Jansiga Daniel, Lenakatoig. Agasana Hoviga Daniel Goulding. Ganan Hinin Neharlesh.
The goal has come in the 19th minute after Cork brought on a sub. Isaki O'Halpin. It was a great ball in by Brian Cotter. That was a superb pass. That was vision. And then Daniel Goulding, who got the winning point against Galway the last day, went for the goal into the corner, but the Dublin keeper will be disappointed. He'll surely feel that he could have got a hand to this, but it was dropping dangerously all the way in. There's the angle. Across it went by Daniel Goulding, but the keeper will be disappointed.
Agus tá Ger O'Mara gortathe ar a dalamh ar áiclia. Mánaí chuma maríonn sé le sínsir na mánaíoch le O'Tools agus rinne chapléin ar an amán an chuntaí. Agus baine stóir hir chonel Ryan McAniff agus an Ahir le chuma agus é tíardáil don sínsir le hána count son.
Well, what a great day it is for Brian McAniff of Donegal, some 31 years after he was making a mark as a player manager with Donegal. Here he is all those years later, long serving like Sean Boylan and Mick O'Dwyer and so many more great stalwarts of the game.
Marsin, you're on Welsh. You're a rechinige, go raich a council na stacha dierin o Daniel Goulding. Bhí na ligiar ach am éireach agus inis. A sé noch Jarek Choruk agus Shahir Cork, Michael Shields. Ach, y cosint y stig sa chwne, Willie Lowry. Ach, leis amach. Di Barry Kennedy. Ach, ydy glihán y tog ydy Ian Ward. Mark Vaughan, Shansig y Mark. A na hapig y ffad y Mark leis y stach. Calais dianta Mark.
Well, for all the dominance that Dublin enjoyed over a sustained period there, and their physical strength certainly was a factor in establishing that dominance, Cork have clawed the deficit now right back to just 1 point. But Dublin here have a chance to make it 2.
Kevin Leahy an bhaid sé a riú pointe ní raibh go fóil. Agus dar nó muintir ardhacha ar a láimhile agus iad tlúd. Nó leis an luhisínsir Isaki ó Halpín go chorcaig. Ach bhfuilte thar sé do blionige. John Coughlin go dtí Kevin Leahy. Isaki dul le chóil, sleanna he buig, achta har naisige. Sleanna he a dalamh. Agus an bhert dianta ar deire. An son. Owen Cadigan. Agus Serki the chorcaig. Evan Harrington. O'Reilly, Gerard Brennan. Mead Shelley vid a guide, agus a stach gyd harnais gyd Gerard Brennan o Ian Ward. Agus Serki Kelle Arclea. Barry Kennedy. Dyr I gwn Cadigan a chwrda. Barry Gaffol. Agus Owen Fos a stop. Dach gyd John Coughlin. Brasna Inish gyda Ger O'Mara. Ger O'Mara fe frwn son again Michael Shields. Mach Inish gyda Gerard Brennan. I'n rugby choma. Iawn anna ias ystach at ydy Ger O'Mara. Mae se sgôr Ger O'Mara gys pwynted es.
Well, the Dublin forwards have regained their composure after the goal that was conceded at the other end. And good pace here by Ger O'Mara coming in and knowing where the posts were and confidently taking his point.
Marsin, half-einte atra in a hwyr. Michael Shields, acht leis a roher, open isige, agus taka ichtige. Ach, Ro Shanahan fe vrwn ish. Agus Shelley na caide went over ge Willie Lowry. Willie agus Colin West a jechentlis. Willie gefol. Lecha chul gedi Cian Clear. Ian on more father. Agus fachta gedasige Kevin Leahy. Kevin Leahy. Corana yasige Kevin agus Calais diantev. Get Stephen O'Donoghue.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what sort of a run-up Kevin Leahy has here, because I was remarking earlier on that he just seemed to be a little bit casual, short run-up and just stabbing at it, and he did put one wide from a very kickable position a few minutes ago.
Marsin. There go mai de gansan agus builte go maige agus in siú pointe.
1 from play and 2 from frees for Kevin Leahy. And it's a 3-point lead now for Dublin in the 25th minute of the game.
Pointe de chnic. Agus iad de glorm go mai. James down, the Machalor pot na fáice agus scudan na caide fachta go Michael Shields go dí Isaaci ó helpín ach an caid pointe go agus pointe go má John Coughlin fós agus dhéchanta son le Patrick Kelly ach go moltóir an count an áde atra John Coughlin agus Isaaci ó helpín go le chúl Aidan Downs Calís dianta Aidan agus kick sair no hige.
Well, the referee there deemed that Fintan Gould had just gone in, sliding into that ball and gave the free to Dublin.
Well, Arclea attack the rash, Erin Unsey, Barry Kennedy. Down more or do Varry, Pevna Love Clay.
And that's Dublin's 5th wide of this first half. And on top of their 5 wides, they do, of course, have 9 points. So that gives you an indication of how much attacking Dublin have done in this game.
Ma ha bhailir Cork gur rí go bhfuil idir an cúl mar beidir go mór chun dédig marach son ach ní leatar an is ach ceann bháin. Báide bháin. Isaaci le na hóran ach da harnáis sig Arclea. Achtersteach, Bad Parke, Brendan Phelan. To good ask the Jerome Arriga, agus Leahy. Wolte go dasige Kevin Leahy, agus an Carol Pointe ige Kevin.
The leading personality in the game so far is undoubtedly Kevin Leahy. He's got 4 points, 2 from play, 2 from frees. He missed a free that he would have been disappointed with, but it didn't bother him. He got over it quickly, he put the next one over the bar, and now he's got a beauty from play. And Dublin have been point scoring in a style, I think, that followers of their senior team would wish that they had done during the summer.
Aidan Downs at here together for an say on one fully Stephen O'Donoghue when Shelley the kite of away. Cork big Eric Dollar and say Joe Shanahan. Joe Cordas, Ahnesh Gafoil. Then you could have a higger. Eric Paraleforda. Wilt Elehachuliga, Gary Fintan Gould. Rasna and Sogary Daniel Goulding. Willie Lowry, Ayahantlish. Daniel Goulding, Rimishamach. Lorag Nakaider, Joe Shanahan. Down the head of Dalov. After Hanashiga. And son. Agus Bultige Daniel Goulding. Agus appointed as Daniel Goulding.
Well, anxious moments for Stephen McDonnell and for Armagh, but at the same time they will be relaxed because they've been here before. It's just that the build-up, they prefer to get it over with as quickly as possible. And Benny Tierney, you saw him there too, the goalkeeper last year and now goalkeeping advisor.
Marsin, on Omid Brishick, had a hit again Multoir to Hearla. Big Cousins, Niall Horgan. Agus Serkick no Hige. And full of wine as got on to a Kelly Goni. Not big area of Arnold do. And Cotter. Agus Graham doch denken get Ian Warder. Holland West to Lorg Nakaite, Hennis Kian clear. Into all the Dasaka Kian. Arana Lloyded on the score pool. The Mark Vaughan, the ultimate and the Horan, they get Niall Horgan. Agus they are clear and careful. Diarmuid O'Donovan. Nishdod Cork. Rachgadi Barry Kennedy. Bongracht an Devlin. Pwca Hilesh amach Harish a Devlin. Rifshi. Sver Kiki, Kada. Wahan, Hoki Council. Wahan, against Wolta Gadasiga. Stachenson, Gadi. Eden Relihin. Dansiga Eden. Yannick Toig. Yannick Schlieg and the Hen. Eden Golish Tachamil avoided. Lena Goran Nagasan in Miolish.
Well, Aidan Relihan's intentions were good there. He didn't do much wrong coming in, but it was a very tight angle. He sensibly went to try to punch it over the bar, but there was some pressure coming in. 3 Cork defenders in picture there, and it went wide.
Isakio Halpin, a Dirgihol Di Patrick Kelly, Pentagovic and Mark Bond. Later Gadas to get Conor Barrett. To get Lena Gordon, Gary Michael Shields. Fasna Inish, Gary Evan Harrington. I guess Cork B, Gary Hurtamach, Owen Cadigan. Gary John Hayes, John the Maclisha Ruher. Lishdesho. A1 in the North severe Liga. I guess it took a hit Talon. There, kick the Horping.
And this is the Cork left full forward John Hayes going through and was fouled there. There wasn't all that much fouling in the first half indeed, and the referee has handled this game well so far. There's been a lot of kicked passing, there's been a lot of traditional football with the players holding their positions, and there's been a lot of very good scores and some great passes too. And certainly that wonderful pass by Brian Cotter, the Cork centre half forward, that set up the goal for Daniel Goulding. While the goal will rightly be analysed, the pass certainly was the making of it.
Martin Muilvog, Nimmert, for the Horleish Achor, John Hayes. She showed the Gimmer to Rigley Horn, a lot of them. I guess they start the Hoon in Ish, I guess Colin West, a whole big and Serki. The then score force to get Colin, we all whole I'm sure if and draws again. So what Caharu Canish, I guess. She'd seeking the holy Lena Hush, Dishinish again. Lena Kitawig. Wolta, Ega Colin, Afa, right again.
Well, it's just not going Colin West's way, as Micheál was saying. At this stage in the quarter-final against Galway, he had 2 goals on the board, but his problem so far is that he can't get his confidence up because his marker, Cian Clear, is playing such an outstanding game on him. A stronger, physically stronger player, Cian Clear. And so it's half-time here in the minor game, and there's the goal scorer, Daniel Goulding. And that goal brought Cork back into contention after it appeared that Dublin were pulling away in the early stages. But a good first half, a lot of skill on view. Both teams need to increase the tempo now for the second half. And we'll be with you for...
Colavoin is got on the board no Kaelin, had cut an order, because Isakio Halpin a lot part inish, because Hinton Gould, I don't know how slot, because Brian Cotter, and Mohedigli Hahn, I guess Serkick, no he, I guess the Corky, College Dinta, Ed Kevin Harrington.
And just to repeat that change, Cork have sent their midfielder Hinton Gould to centre half forward to add some heft to the attack, and Isakio Halpin has gone to midfield.
Agus Shahe, Isaki, the Gadasiga, Bultilena Goran, Harnashinish, the Michael Shields, the Isaki O'Halpin, Yannick Toik, Count on the War on Ord, Joe Shanahan, the Sticks of Huine, Bach the Gadasiga Joe, in his Nimmert, had the Yannishelisha Gounsa, Wilta Trasnan Hul, Hinton Gold, and the Goran, Sarah Gadas. Well, Anna Verticht, Diente, Ege, Cossentori, Oglia, and Son.
Well, all credit to Joe Shanahan for the way he got this ball across here. Fintan Gould went in and got a fist to it. And the Dublin goalkeeper having some nervy moments in this match.
Brendan Phelan and Fadlar Park in of Gamaha Cousin took us the chance to get Cork dull Erin Seanish, Daniel Goulding. After the Gadas and Sonnig, John Hayes. After Kalianisha, Shauna Hawig, a winter up. Like the sauce the Gama, Lishly Hasha the Cousin, on the O'Reilly, and the Horicon. By Patrick Kelly, August John Hayes. That the Interlawn about to get. Chance to get Cork, I guess to get Finton Gould. Another Corrigi Counson. Miale Cork.
Well, Mickey Whelan is a long-time stalwart servant of Dublin football, won an All-Ireland medal in the early 1960s, was involved for a number of years in the Dublin senior management team. Football's been his life, it's still his life, because he is a coaching advisor to this team, very much a vital man in the backup team.
Thought Philidor in the law, Finton Gould. Will to get Essiger, right, goody. Joe Shanahan, chance to get Joe, Machtestach. At the end of Shillish account sub, will to get Joe, gets printed Essiger, Joe Shanahan.
Joe Shanahan, the left half forward, is certainly making a mark early in the second half. He got a great ball over that led to Finton Gould punching in one that might have been a goal, but a Dublin defender was vigilant. And here's Joe Shanahan cutting in. Now, there was a man free the far side, but he wouldn't be expected to see him under a bit of pressure there. He got his point.
Cosna Hondos and Nuvanish and under the Nike Hobradorn and Nike Rigas and Nike Nagali. Aha, Chahe, Afar, a good Gortiha Yield, John Coughlin. Will to Eleha Fulige, Agus. Ishik Otley, Olin Sea, Evan Leahy, Agus. They Otley and Counter. Mark Vaughan. Achdrachehon. Shell Passon, Glanamu, Waisha Hernashi. Well, Brendan Phelan, Hernashi, Buntigadasiga, Barry Kennedy, Yeshika Barry, Nachtestach.
Well, after a lot of excellent play in the first half, it's been disappointing by Dublin, really. But what a great piece of fetching that was there by John Coughlin. It's just that the finish didn't match the build-up.
Jerome Ara, Machter Ruher, will to get Jer, after get John Coughlin. For the count Masson Sonair, agus a built to get John, agus Sarah is about to get James down. Then Goran, goody Stephen O'Donoghue. Even the Derek Mark Vaughan for the Fun the Antigus. The other Derek and Fight of Vogo, or when you got in it, goody Daniel Goulding. I finish it of Line. Agus. And the Vartich, the Antiga, Agus. Brian Carter, the Heimshoe, Brian the Machtestach, get saying. Holland West, Lenny Kitoik, Acha, Wada Eriesh.
Well, Croke Park, the place for glamour this afternoon.
You're on Welsh. To Gegas, Shahé John Hayes. In Gordon, goody Finton Gould. Finton Gould, I guess, finish. And down the way the Higge. In Fleet of Oinatra.
Well, Cork will be more than pleased to be within just 1 point of Dublin, who clearly were the superior team in the first half. But Dublin are a bit casual and not going in all that hard in the second half. Cork are. They're going for the game now, and they're getting their reward with scores like that.
Húsnís fári, Corcaig leis a tarna le, gan éon áras. Shahé Brendan Phelan. Bhfuilte amach goidí Ian Ward. Ian Ward goidí Barry Kennedy. Shalá Clíanis chun dul in Onsaí. Barry, Cordas, túra sé fé scór. Léana Chitóig, Cawn mór ár, an pulla bhfuilte agus. Go mí ábharach, go hábharach de Stephen O'Donoghue goidí ón Cadigan. Ón agus Barry Kennedy, déanamh Calísir. Ón Cadigan, bhfuilte go maithaige agus fachta go maithaige John Hayes, isteachais goidí Daniel Goulding, Daniel Léana Chitóig, Anna Yeshiga Daniel, Cawn mór ár, agus á siad a cós góil.
But that's one of the scores of the day so far. Superb point by Daniel Goulding. He got the goal, remember, in the first half. It was great work a minute ago at the other end by Stephen O'Donoghue. He watched the ball off the post. All coaches will say to young players, watch the ball off the post. Well, down at the other end, this is what happened. Daniel Goulding put the ball over the bar. Cork are playing all the good football early in the second half, certainly as far as they're concerned. Two smart Lashna Hebra.
Agus Serkic, da clear and Baltasa. Brendan Phelan. Ultigamagadi, Barry Kennedy, Owen Cadigan, Lashdigda. Eric Sulich Mader, Shaheb Barry, Machleshistach. Barry, Wilte Ige Barry, Ach, Eliesh.
Well, it may be just a minor semi-final, but there's great action, great excitement, great colour up on Hill 16.
Pinton Gould, go Hartson Ayer, John Coughlin, Derek Hadevanta, Wiltigadi Isaki O'Halpinige. Isaki Stakadi, John Hayes, Coimert, yes, those the Cork. John Hayes, Derek Schlee, and of the Hen. Down more or the Joe Emil the Carnoige, I guess Stevenson, top Daniel Goulding, I guess, I may have kick cool weather against that.
There's the Dublin goalkeeper, Kieran Walsh. He's had an up-and-down sort of game. He had good hands on one occasion in the first half when he had to come for a ball, but he then conceded the goal, and there's been one or two occasions in the second half when he hasn't been all that confident or assured. Now, just as this ball drops here, just watch how Cork forced the 45, and this Dublin sideline would be hoping would be a backs ball or that the keeper would punch it out. Well, the punch was in, but it's a 45.
Daniel Goulding, I hope he counts a Shannon Farah the Brew, Erna Cosson Toidi, Oil, Wiltige Daniel, Lagasset, Tafrin, and Fullenharte, 20, Ele, Daniel Goulding, Liam Ado, Liam at 3 Michigan. Marchen, Corkig, Emihemachan Tussig. See the game come on. Jenny Frick and the Gorko, you can sauce a Tarnala. Willie Lowry. Alice Dienta and Willie. Serkic, Darkly. Wiltigady, Brendan Phelan. Lahore. Gerard Brennan, Horigi. Like a Swachta Gadas again. Ryan Cotter. Asamihamu. Agus. Kevin Leahy, John Coughlin, Barry Kennedy, Ian of the Mahashtiganish, Barry Machleshistach, well, another right, and him shoe the louder Voltora, Stephen O'Donoghue.
And 9.5 minutes into the second half, clearly Dublin need a score, and Barry Kennedy has moved in now to full forward, where Kevin Leahy was playing so well in the first half. Well, not much quality ball coming in the second half, and the strong Barry Kennedy has gone in there, and he's won a free off the previously excellent Stephen O'Donoghue.
Agus Carta Bui, the Stephen O'Donoghue. Count 80, Darkly. Well, to get us again, Kevin Leahy against Tasha, the coast goal.
And that's the equalising point, the 5th of the game by Kevin Leahy with that short run-up. But he hit it with sufficient power and accuracy. Good equalising point.
Pinton Gould, Yannick Gomasanayer, Lola Harda, Maclelio, Maclesh Gafoel, Cancer Scorige, Drachen.
Well, again, great hands by Fintan Gould. Would remind you of his uncle Coleman Corrigan in appearance, indeed, and in style as he went up for that ball. Indeed, it was the first mistake that Fintan's made in the match. He certainly has been very influential for Cork.
Or Quanson Eric, Brendan Phelan, Agus Shaheshal, Brendan, Dublin on sea, Arana Lloyd, and Maclesh Gafoel, Wultistachige, Gidi. Also, Huinagus Shin, Barry Kennedy, Lenachito, Gafro, other clay. Idir roch iawn y meo, han chlwhinish, ni lawnach. A haf na pingini, i'r co-score, John Coughlin. Yog I hyd sgôr yli. Ansig John a hyn, a dŵr y seffe. Hwrig, lenach I twyg. Wyltig Anna i'r achtagas Anna Fwynte ag John Coughlin.
This is a fine young player, John Coughlin. Happily is recovered from what was a serious injury, a facial injury that required surgery. He's back and back in great style. He's a powerful, strong, strapping young man, John Coughlin. As we said earlier, of course, nephew of Eugene Coughlin, the great Offaly hurler. But coming through there and kicking a fine point, and that'll settle Dublin again.
Agus sinné ríiste an farciana. Bhfuilte har náisiige go dtí Donach O'Reilly. Agus bachta go deas anna dhéis sin isige Kevin Leahy. An guri sé átlíochan tusig Machtlis an nulig gír. An chaide go púg go hálinn har is a drasnán. Kevin Leahy, pointe iviris sé.
Yes, the 6th point of the game by Kevin Leahy, who has now come to left half forward, and it was from there that he made a good crossfield run, picked up a very nice ball by Aidan Relihan. So win the ball, pass, give it to a better placed colleague. It's working for Dublin.
Mark Vaughan, Yaw Rocha in a hot slot. Isaki O'Halpine, agus Nanach Lishatsud, Owen Cadigan. Isaki Gidi Owen, Shahe Owen. Owen a Machtlish. And pass late to get a gas to get Kian clear. Ian the Tachtamach, I guess, third kick, no Hege, and I, John Hayes. Dish and so, John O'Hara. John, I guess, Kevin Leahy, Clihanachlish, John Hain, Anna Yeshiga, John, Turshefig, I guess, Goig and Vaig, Goig, Pointe, John O'Hara.
Well, this is the point in the game now. 13 minutes in the second half, when there's a danger for Cork that Dublin might just build up a big score again, because they've just come into it. Measured build up to a couple of moves, and the points have followed, and that one by John O'Hara, who also got a sweet one in the first half.
Substitution on the Cork team.
In the Cork.
Owen Cadigan has been replaced by number 19, Jonathan O'Sullivan.
Jonathan O'Sullivan at the board, agus Owen Cadigan a fog in the party. Áclia is lean ó lóchan tusaigh inis. Na Corcaí go dtí golar an ón saí. Colin West. Achta go deasa Colin. Dtí cían clíar a chuirda. Mí ábharach a leannig Joe Shanahan san óir méchar. Agus seo Mark Vaughan. Bhfuilte amach aige tugad í John Coughlin. Stachal Áirslí agus an líthach. Amach leis Kevin Leahy. Kevin amach go fóil, Anna Rohara dhéanamh aige Kevin. Ach buinte go in Éireann Loy. Ach de harnáise go Barry Kennedy. Barry. Lena Goran. Stach an son, die Aidan Relihan. Aidan. Hat Shelley vid gaid, agus é Derek Slí gan of the hen. Aidan amach leis stach gona. Stachal Áirslí, bhfuilte go Aidan nach Bevna live edition.
Well, it might be felt that Aidan Relihan took too much out of the ball there, but in fairness to him, he was looking up, he was looking to give it to somebody. Nobody came to him, and he then had to twist, turn, get inside and go for the point himself. It went wide.
Brendan Phelan, Matt Lesh. Brendan, Trasloga Brahage Brendan, agus Anna Fast, agus Anna Yesher score. Ha, na havoil, Diantatson agus Stephen O'Donoghue. O Jero Mara.
All the pressure is coming now from the Dublin forwards. That was a goal chance. Again, the layoff was neat. And across came the fullback, Stephen O'Donoghue, who is doing all that he can in defiant mood there at fullback for Cork. Now, three Cork defenders there, but the young Dublin lad got through. The layoff was excellent, but in came Stephen O'Donoghue. That was timely and effective. But has it staved off a score? Well, here's the 45.
Kevin Leahy and Vaishen Shachto Pointe. Aiga húrt no coshédi agige. Wultige Kevin. Agus Wulte. Anna Fuinte fadige Kevin. Ord Fuinte.
Four points to Kevin Leahy in the first half, 3 now in the second half. A magnificent 7 for Kevin Leahy from Clontarf.
Hedi Fuinte Forest Boyd in Ishiga Clia. Agus big Imini Cork and Tinnedy Jonathan O'Sullivan. Agus an passa me himu. Wulte go tapig agus Deshele Scorala and Baltasage Jam O'Hara. Nachlesh, Wiltelena Kitoige, Achsara Stig and Baltasa, they get James down. Nachlesh Ruhar. Agus Kalish Dinta and Brian Potter. Score Tastalo Horkik, Contactor Nash. Aklia Schlaun Heri Fuinte Contusig. Canoe noch den immer, take a Shahefinton Gould. Achter Ruhar and Spradach, Finton and Matlish Gafol. Pascady Colin West, Chancega Colin, Lenikatoig, Wultiga Colin, Nacha, well, Len Raleigh Colin, no. Willie Lowry, Tachtamach, Darklia. Agus Willie gosh to hit, Cheston Hyde, Horagaras. Achter Inishiga Brendan Phelan, Brendan Agus the Hyde. Well, after her Nashiga, John Hayes, Brendan Phelan, the Matlish, Farana Lloyd, Joe Brendan, the Matlish, Anna Hanser scored against Brendan Phelan, Agus Pointer, Anna Hawker, Darklia.
Well, this is a player that Michal spoke about at the start of the match as a likely man to come through the ranks. Brendan Phelan from Kilmacud Crokes, one of the great clubs in the GAA. And he's a very strong player, but a very skillful player too, very forceful. Thinks only of going forward, and certainly he had the accuracy there, but there is a danger now from a Cork point of view, as Michal was saying, that Dublin may pull away here. And of course a lot of speculation, would we have a All-Leinster minor final? We may well have that.
Agus Isaki O'Halpine in Ishigas Kian clear, Oyachan Lechele, the Gamil avoided, John Hayes, Golden Akaidi, Tachtamach Darklia, Aidan Downs, Aidan, Agus. As Puravaras again Aidan, by Shane Council Harnash, by Shaloro, by Sherwillish Gafol. Agus Anna Hans again Jeromara Hain, Bultiga Jeromara, Cool Boy the Tachtamach, Agus and Mihalish, Wintergo, Dish Inish, Aidan Relihan, Bultiga Aidan, Agus Pointele, and see you count again.
Yes, the third point of the game for Aidan Relihan, the Dublin top of the right from St Sylvester's Malahide. He looks a very exciting prospect, Aidan Relihan, but certainly the Cork goalkeeper, I think, may feel here that he might have had a bit more help from his defence, although Michael Shields was there all right. He had a very good first half, but now Cork are under pressure and it's looking more and more like an All-Leinster All-Ireland minor final.
Well, Schnee Skosulgard Marschen weg, agus Kujolo dar no Snashinshit. Agus Willie Lau ni hachan Barkian Richte Stiggenson, Brendan Phelan, agus Costington Baltuson. Agus Shahe Niall Horgan, Antamani, Hadas Vedalish again of Inish, agus here Natchin Chandedig, Jonathan O'Sullivan. Alan West, agus Buttig, Willie Lowry, some there is, Buttig is lacht for again. John Coughlin. Agus Shahanish, Barry Kennedy, agus Anna Yeshiga Barry, and Vaishiat Kola Litza, Anna Yesh, and so, again, Aidan Relihan, agus Shane Aidan Relihan, agus William Marahan and Wicked.
It was surely only a matter of time before Dublin got a goal, and they got it in the 20th minute of the second half. And we again have to point to the fact that Dublin are unselfish. They're prepared, even in positions where they could get their own scores, to lay off the ball to a better placed colleague. Unselfish play. Again, it had its reward. He could hardly have missed from there, particularly the way he's been playing up to now, young Aidan Relihan.
Shahenton Adi, Stephen Birmingham, Takahechan Poit, Gigas Joe Shanahan, Imihin. Á clíanis agus gléana seoltaí blan an uachtar. Ní léon bhhéilara. Léon tahrú. Colin West inis. Mai sé chiad scór. Be fósaf nach agus sér kick nó héige.
Well, it's hard to credit that young Colin West, such a talented performer, has gone through this game up to the 21st minute of the second half without a score. But that's a tribute, I think, to the excellent fullback play of Cian Clear from the Sylvester's club, of course, in Malahide, like Aidan Relihan. Colin has tried hard, all right, but Cian Clear is a powerfully strong direct opponent for him.
Beshi Cork an bharna a leidú agus puinteach da ríomh cúla há tastáilmhutha fendrasa tá siad bhar rohúr chun deirig agus ní móna sásta a dtíirn a bheith siad bharna chomórsan a bheith atra agus John Hayes an tarna puintige. Ian Welsh coming on Hassanish Ockley Jonathan O'Sullivan Eric Colin West a I'm shoe Acha Neil Rina Ralesh agus Willie Lowry a Hockey Council the Mershemar Lacholi Lloyd le Lishna Hamanahe Minuri Huntae Well, Neil Cork can gaile na siad agus an fear fuair pointe. John Hayes bhfuilta maithaige sin inis go dtí Jonathan O'Sullivan ach ceanna le I mithimú.
Well, it's an uphill struggle now for Cork. And in fairness to Dublin, while their forwards took their scores so well, their defence has also performed splendidly in this game, and midfielders Brendan Phelan and John Coughlin, they too played their parts. So just some hesitancy at the back, and Kieran Walsh in goal certainly will have to be a little bit more assured in his play. But apart from that, this is an excellent Dublin team as they make a change.
James Brogan, Mackley, Jim Brogan, Takahichan Park, agus Sosa Horta Barry Kennedy, a Chorum Dienta ag Barry. Ryan Cotter, Colin West, Willie Lowry, agus Anna Vartaichtad, and Vartienta Baltavon Elige, Matt Lesh, a Ruher, Leo's Clona Willach Druchown, D. Connor Barrett, Ryan Cotter, Harnashti Michael Shields, Colin West, Vartienta William Baltasaga Neil, she went to her reach to get Willie. Agus Gideon on the James Brogan, Jerome Mara, Macklish, Mark Vaughan, a Macklish Istach, Mark Bose, Agus Cadianic Mark. Well, Nehemu, let him all to it.
Substitution on the Cork team. Number 14, Colin West, has been replaced by number 20, Michael Milner.
Michael Milner at son, a mach Tachan Parke, agus, well, near Venove, Law, Colin West, big law elige, the analogue in the niche, acha, near riding in Ublish. Gerard Brennan, Lena Kitoik, Trasna Gudi, Jeromara, Lena Goran, Gudi, Brendan Phelan, agus Shahe Brendan, Opige, Nachleshistach, Mark Vaughan, Will Calley Stienter, well, Nidimal Torna, well, Patrick Kelly, agus Hadwinter John Hayes, Lena Roy, Gudas, Trasna Napoike, agus Dishin so, again. Harnash, initially Daniel Goulding am achterstach, agus Mick Kikerica, Nive, Kal Kaffes gemacht. Will she has an ball get the stick? They get Kieran Welch and son or ball. So here, Brendan Phelan, about one ele. Mark Lish, could he Mark Vaughan? The Yannick Mark. Derek Patrick Kelly churda. Halish Diente, Patrick Kelly, Agaser Hick Darkly.
Well, just thinking about Kieran Walsh, the Dublin goalkeeper, he had a few nervous moments earlier on, but how nice it is for him now that he has the memory of a good save there. He certainly was on the ball when he had to be. So many interesting links, of course, here with the players, and we've talked about the pedigree of various players here. One lad, it's a pity that we didn't get to see, is the Dublin substitute, Danny O'Reilly. At least we haven't got to see him so far. He's a son of singer Mary Black, and that's something I think that many people will find very interesting.
So hey, Aidan Relihan, Bulte Agaden, Nagas Anna Fainter, Agaden Relihan, Agus Ishin, Cool, Agus Kirifuint Agaden Relihan, Martian, Kirikin Deer, Ididahin, Agus Ididahin, Agus Kevin Leahy.
Replaced by number 12, John O'Brien.
Martian, John O'Brien, Itachan Portke, Darkly, Agus Mark Vaughan, a fog on the Portke, a Chorum Diente, Ig Mark, enough. Bishanava, Agus John O'Brien, Itachan Portke in the oil. Jonathan O'Sullivan. Agus Shohe, Kevin Leahy. Tinadai, James Brogan, Bultigamahagagadi, Jaromara, well, we shed here, I get Jan O'Hara, I'm sure. Jahedjor, Bultigamahagagadi, Aidan Relihan, Bultiga Aidan, Agus, have no live edition, Aidan Relihan, Agus.
There will be at least 1 minute of additional time, at least 1 minute.
And we were just talking a minute ago about young Danny O'Reilly, and what a proud moment it will be for his mum Mary Black and his dad Joe O'Reilly. Young Danny is in, and Ger O'Mara is going off because he too has given his all. This is a Dublin team that has strength and depth in its panel. This is a very good Dublin minor team as they head towards an All-Leinster All-Ireland final.
Agus Nomad Brisha a Cadofer. Dishansa again John Coughlin. Coughlin, a bowler Nakaida and son, goody. John O'Brien, Hanichan Portke, Dida Hohienevin. Sorry, again James Down. Machanish, goody. Well, Ash Danny O'Reilly, Schlaunahe. Agus a dear Kevin Harrington, the stop and son. Even Birmingham. Org na Kaide, Fachtiga Stephen. Agus, well, and Passa me him John Coughlin. A Machatugadi Kian Clear. No Mutavoin Brisha. Cadahe again Multoid. Agus Anna Rohara, Yanaviga Jan O'Hara. Jan O'Hara Machlish. John Gaffol. Húrishef score and so stolen. Bultiga John, Cowan Moore or Bultiga had him a live edition. It's come on,
Number 15, John O'Hara, has been replaced by number 23, Willie Moore. And number 4, Willie Lowry, has been replaced by number 17, Kieran Murtagh.
Willie Moore agus Kieran Murtagh Tachan Portke Sasa Hurta Willie Lowry agus John O'Hara. Ne Willie Lowry. Áclia agus Laois Hinte Evexach Lohi Canish Inish. Patrick Kelly Ta Willie Chorcaí Tucahe. Kevin Hartnett Trasna Gadi John Harrington Gadi John Hayes. John Hayes amach leis a rúthar. John Hayes go fóil. Cadíanag John Hayes an a rúthar ag John Hayes agus an a haváil. John Coughlin idir líne bhfuilte ach sinné é.
And so it's an All-Leinster, All-Ireland minor football final between Laois, who defeated Kerry by 2-15 to 2-10, and Dublin, who've just defeated Cork on a scoreline of 118 to 1-9. But I think it should be borne in mind, in fairness to Cork, that no fewer than 8 of the 15 who started today will be minor again next year. So a youthful team of promise, but Dublin also a team of great promise as they head towards the All-Ireland final. The final score then, as we hand to the studio: Dublin 1 goal and 18 points, Cork 1 goal and 9.
Prayer, but I suppose what the backdoor system has done